Time to get to clickety clacking. Welcome to Simple Run. This is going to be part 2 of my keyboard build. We're back with the glamorous GMMK, the full size, so sadly not the Pro, but they only make the Pro and the little guys, and I need a full size keyboard, if you know what I mean. Now this episode is just really going to be going through the different options of switches. Now you will notice I don't have the glamorous specific switches. They don't come in their switch test, and I didn't want to just go all out and buy all their switches without knowing if I'm going to like them or not. This will only ever be the second mechanical keyboard I've ever owned, so I wanted to go through and really test out the switches. Now you got a lot of options. I'm going to read off the box. So you've got the GATERON Clear, which is linear. The GATERON Red, which is also linear. The Black linear. Blue, which is clicky. Green, clicky. And then brown, which is tactile. Now, personally, I don't have the caps on, but without the caps, you can tell where the clickers actuate. Linears feel smooth, but the tactiles don't really feel all that special to me. But I don't have keycaps on them either. The next row, we've got the KAILH. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So silver, bronze, copper. Now personally I thought those would be swapped color wise, but this is definitely clicky, which the bronze is. The copper is tactile, red linear, black linear, white clicky, brown tactile, and purple tactile. Now, for those of you that this may bug, I am not putting the correct keys on in those spaces. In fact, I'm just going to number them, so 1 through 6 and then F1 through F8. That way I can take notes and I'll know which one's which for which clickety clackety I prefer. So now I'm going to go through and pop those guys on, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I've got the caps on there. And with the caps, you can kind of tell a little bit of a difference with the tactile ones. You can definitely feel it more than you can with like a linear. And the clickies are still rather obnoxious, but they actuate pretty nice. Now, I've not put the O-rings on. I will probably pop a couple of these off and try out the O-rings as well, just to kind of give you an idea. Now, all the O-ring is going to do is prevent that sound when you bottom out. So linear, for instance, that is just the keycap bottoming out. Whereas the clicky is going to make the clicky sound no matter what, O-ring or not. But what it's going to prevent is the extra sound you get from tapping the keycap down, which to me doesn't really bug me so much, but I'm going to put them on and try them out anyways, just because I have them. Now, going in order, you've got the clear linear, the GATERON, and this one's a really light switch. I wouldn't do this one personally because I would definitely either accidentally bump it or even, I don't think the weight of your hand would hold it down, but it might. And I feel like this one I would just fat finger a lot. Now the red one is still linear. It's a little heavier. It definitely feels a lot more, well, it has more of a quality feel. Let me put it that way. And then black, which is a little bit heavier. That one actually feels even nicer, and it's a lot smoother than the red one even. Then you go to the blue clicky. Now the nice thing with the clicky is you can definitely tell when you've actuated. There is no question I've hit the key when it clicks, which I really like, but sitting there writing a lot might get a little obnoxious. Now the green is even heavier than the blue, but I don't know that I notice it as much. It definitely still clicks as much, but I don't know that it feels much heavier than the blue. And part of that as well is just how quickly those actuate. You can definitely tell that it does not take much to actually get that click. And I think that short stroke is why you can't really tell much of a difference on the weight. And then the brown, which is tactile. Now this one you can definitely now feel when it actuates compared to the linear. You're probably not going to be able to hear it, but you can definitely feel a little bit of resistance when that one actuates. Whereas this one, there's nothing there, it's just the same pressure all the way through. And you're kind of seeing the same when you switch over to these, right? So you got the silver linear, which is, well, it's the lightest switch, but it doesn't feel that much lighter than the clear one over here. Then you switch to the bronze, which is your lightest clicky, but it has a nicer sound than the blue. However, it doesn't really feel that much lighter. In fact, it almost feels like more of a quality switch. Like there's more pressure behind it. And then you've got the copper, which is tactile. I'm not really getting it with these tactiles. Maybe it's just me, but they really don't feel all that much different than the linear. You can kind of feel a little bit of pressure, but I don't think it's enough to actually, that I would take it over a linear, really. It's not any more of a quality feel. It's kind of got a little more pressure behind it. And then you go to the red linear, and these ones are boxed. Now the boxed ones, you can kind of see it when I go through the videos of the switch, the B-roll. They definitely are nicer for putting the keycaps on. I'm wondering how they do with pulling it off, but basically the part goes around the circle as well, so it holds it in there a little bit nicer, and it's a lot easier to put on. So this is a red linear, which is the same as this red linear in weight. Actually, those feel pretty similar. I do like those, but I think my favorite is going to be the black linear. And that's because it is the heaviest linear, and I feel like I would be less likely to accidentally actuate that. It would probably still happen. I mean, honestly, the best one for typing would probably be the green clicky up here. It's nice and heavy, and you can definitely tell when you actuate it. So even if you did accidentally fat finger it, you would instantly know. Now, and then you've got white boxed, which is clicky, and this one's the loudest. They're all pretty loud though when you come down to the clicky part of it. And then you've got brown tactile, which is pretty nice, but again, I don't notice a whole lot of difference. And then purple tactile, which, or no, sorry, it's purple tactile, but this one isn't boxed. It's what they call the Pro model, which I don't know that I'm liking it all that much, really. It's not bad. It's got a good feel to it. But I think my favorite is definitely the black boxed one. So let's go ahead. Now you can hear it bottom out there. So these are kind of nice to pop them off. It comes with the red tool. These boxed ones definitely hold on to the cap when you pop it off. Now with the O-ring, see how much I struggle bust these little O-rings. Now the two that you get are the same hardness, which is just 40A, but one's definitely thinner and the other one is definitely thicker. So for the fun of it, let's just go with the thick one. Get pushed down in there. Now, like I said, these are pretty nice for putting them on, and you just got to put that extra pressure and it goes right on there. This one is a linear without an O-ring. This one's a linear with an O-ring. It's a much deeper sound. Still has a similar feel, but it doesn't get it nearly as clicky. I kind of like that. I kind of like the clicky though. especially like the clicky. I would love that so much just to annoy other people, but I feel like someone else having it would send me into rage mode. So, with all due respect, I'm not going to go with the clicky. Although, you know, down the road, why not? Right now, though, my pick is definitely the box black from KAILH. So I will be ordering a full set of those, and I'll be ordering another set of keycaps so I can make it look all fancy, because if you're building your keyboard, you might as well do, you know, something unique. And I think that wraps up this video. I hope this was helpful. I know I don't have all the tools and equipment to really dig into the differences and the noise levels and all of that. So that's why I'm doing a little more of describing and trying to click it hard enough so you can tell the difference as well. Again, don't forget to subscribe. I've got one more video coming out on this, and I've got a couple more videos that I'm going to be rolling out, you know. I'm going to stick to that one a week for hopefully forever. And then, you know, when I get more videos, I'll bump that up to 2 and so on. So with that, thank you.